Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Last video I talked about the unseen value of man, and it may have seemed like a little unenthusiastic, and that's because it's heartbreaking, right? Just living with a good man and being with a good man, seeing how the world is against him, raising a baby boy to be a good man, and on just hopes that doesn't feel the treatment that is placed on society and masculinity right now. So I just wanted to talk about how maybe we can change that just a way or two, you know what I mean? One of the things I mentioned was the negative stereotypes of masculinity. I think this is very easy as a collective, especially women, because right now we have the voice, we have the microphone. I think it's time that we allow men to have their voice back and change the way the narrative of masculinity has been pushed on to men, and just speak out for them, the good men. I think women are afraid that they're going to lose the voice. I know for a long time we have been shunned in society of speaking and whatever, but we're in an age now that it really just needs to be that balance, right? So it's all masculine for a long time. Now it's getting like hella feminine, but you can't have too much of one or the other. So you need that divine balance, and it's time to give them their voice back. So one of the things we can do is start challenging negative stereotypes and emotions around that. So we can highlight positive male role models and talk about the positive things. We push so much negativity out in media that it's very rare we ever talk about positive things, especially men. You never really hear good stories about men, and I know they're out there because I live with a good man, and I know there's good men out there, even if they're like small stories, like small acts and services. Like, just push what is really truly out there and not just this big scary fear-mongering of men. So a part of that, pushing that fear-mongering, that negative stereotype, we have more balanced characters. Like, I know a lot are like balanced media representation of men. I know a lot of people who watch like these fear-based driven shows, these crime based shows, and a lot of that is like the perpetrator is a man. I never watched the TV show You, but that gives off really bad vibes about a man character. So if that's the case, examples like that, stop pushing that negative stereotype that way. Speak up against generalization. Like, there's like, if I hear conversation or I'm a part of a conversation where someone says all men are trash or X, Y, and Z or violent or any of those things, I'm like, not mine, not all, not my brother, not, the people I know. These are good men, these are hardworking men, these are people who are affectionate and loving and just want a good, peaceful world. We can acknowledge, when I said something about, smaller roles, acknowledge everyday contributions from man, whether it's if you allow them to be a good father, a teacher, a role model, or someone of that nature, people who make positive impacts to society, people who have done good things for, the people who don't have a voice, or things that we really don't get to see because we're just maximizing the negative man and not the good man. This one I think is important. I talked about this kind of before. I remember like all the things I watch of older times, like the 60s and stuff, men have space to gather and talk about men and build up men. I think over time we depleted that and removed those spaces, those safe spaces. So find a space safe enough where men can grow and advocate for each other and treat men or teach men how to be good men. Because of a lot of times now, Men are raised by women. There's not good men out there. And at some point, you have to take accountability for yourself. So if you're, old enough to think like, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, I need a role model, have a place where it's safe enough for men to teach and be role models. Even if you're grown as hell and you're in your 30s and you're like, I don't know where to start, internet is fabricated and all of this, and it's hard. You have something like, I don't want to say like AA for men, but something like that, like, and have something that encourages that or help funds that, because we have funds for everything else. Why not funds for men to be great men? Let men speak and be involved in conversations. We oftentimes, like, I say I can't speak for all, like I can't speak on how to be a good man. I can only speak on how to be a woman, uplift good men. So let men speak and be in conversations of how to be a good man, or how to help the community, or how to do certain things. A lot of times we shut them down simply because they are men or they're not part of some group, whatever. We just do not allow them the voice because everyone thinks they're toxic, or everyone thinks because it goes against something else that they're trying to shut or exile a group, when in actuality, it could be very helpful. I told you, as part of being a good woman, was I had to learn to not be defensive, hush my mouth, and listen, because right away, like the very first thing, I got defensive and I got scared because my world was being rattled, but not realizing that I'm in arms of a good man, so I can be comfort and shown a better way than what I was living, and have that direction and guidance and allow him to guide me, and my life did become better. So it may sound harsh because it's coming from a man, and it's not like coddling and try to coddle your way through it, but sometimes we just need that cold, hard truth and allow them to break that down or give us the opposite perspective and help guide us through it. But we don't allow that in society. So just let them be a part of the conversation. It's really not that hard. I promise you, a lot of people are just scared because they don't want to change. Change is definitely necessary right now. And then something I can do right now that I am doing is, as people and content creators become bigger and take up more space, like create better content that celebrates good men, or that talks about good men, or that doesn't shun them, because really all it is us shutting them out, and what we didn't want done to us as women or other groups, we're doing it to them. We want to love everybody and give everybody a voice and do all this except for men. It's not right. And if more people speak up against it, and versus it being like this small group of people out there, then I think it would raise more awareness. That's all I have for right now. I'm sure we'll continue the conversation more, just because as time is progressing, it just seems more important. Anyways, that's all I have. I'm gonna go play with my babies. Peace.